So I've been drinking cough syrup and then other things. So, but we're gonna be fine. Thanks so much for joining. So many people already. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm going to talk about Mr. OBASANJO tonight, and I'm going to talk about his atrocity against the Yoruba nation, and then the Yoruba people as a whole. You're going to enjoy it because the title is not about Fulani headsmen killing anybody. You will see the atrocity committed in 1978 by OBASANJO, which is the problem we are having now today, which has resulted into the problem we are having today. So I'm going to start because we have over 30 people already watching us. Now, folks, on the 29th of July 1975, the military regime of Yakubu Gowon was overthrown, and then that was replaced by another military regime of Muritala Muhammad. Muritala Muhammad was a Fulani man. He was killed on February 13, 1976. That was when he was killed. Immediately after the assassination of Muritala Muhammad, Mr. OBASANJO was imposed by the Hausa Fulani as a military head of state, and he ruled Nigeria for almost 4 years. So it was Hausa Fulani who imposed OBASANJO on the rest of the country because he participated in the coup that ushered in Muritala Muhammad. He was his deputy. But you have to be careful. OBASANJO wasn't the head of state of Nigeria in 1976 up until 1979. He was just an ordinary figurehead of state. The guy who was the head of state, I'm going to tell you, you all know him, but you may not really know. He's the power behind the throne. OBASANJO was just an ordinary figurehead. So in 1976, on February 13, he was imposed on us as the head of state of Nigeria. Mr. OBASANJO was imposed. So the first thing Mr. OBASANJO did against the Yoruba nation, he wanted television station and radio station for the Hausa Fulani. As of 1976, Hausa Fulani do not have television station. They don't even have radio stations. But we have that in Yoruba land. So OBASANJO took over the Yoruba Western Nigerian Government Broadcasting Corporation, WNTV, don't we? That was the first action of Mr. OBASANJO. By the time the atrocity to OBASANJO to commit, so atrocity to Buhari to commit for one different. Just from the beginning, let me just tell you, my shocking Buhari kò sí èpè tẹ́ lè gbé Buhari ṣẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin Yorùbá tẹ́ ń bú máa yẹn èpè yín ò lè ràn máa yẹn because máa yẹn teach Yorùbá youth one thing, one concept, self-preservation. Ẹni tó bá love àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ first and foremost kò sí èpè tẹ́ lè gbé ṣẹ́ kò lè ràn. Buhari máa borí everybody ni because Buhari love àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ Fulani first and foremost. OBASANJO báyé Yorùbá jẹ́ ni torí ẹ̀ láyé OBASANJO ṣe máa bàjẹ́, torí ẹ̀ ní OBASANJO ò ní kúre, torí ẹ̀ ní pé gbogbo àwọn alálẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n á jẹ́ kó OBASANJO jẹ ìyàgbẹ̀yìn ayé ẹ̀ ni. You will see all of his atrocity. You then compare it with what Mr. Buhari is doing for his own people, the Fulani. You can continue to curse Mr. Buhari. Èpè yín ò lè mú. When you have a man that is fighting for the interests of his people, Ọlọ́run máa máa bless ẹ ní kò sí èpè yín tó lè mú tẹ́sán pọ̀ ọmọ ẹ máa kú ni àwọn èèyàn kú every day. Man here is a good role model to the Yoruba youth. He has shown you beyond any reasonable doubt the essence of self-preservation. You will see OBASANJO is the opposite of Buhari. OBASANJO doesn't love his own people. OBASANJO destroys his own people. OBASANJO deliberately ruin Yoruba nation, deliberately bring Yoruba nation to be servant to the Fulani, OBASANJO. Meanwhile, you have a Buhari man who is thinking one thing about the interests of his own people. This is the kind of man you should emulate. Yoruba, you should emulate Mr. Buhari because you don't have the concept of self-preservation. So you think that man is evil. It's not. A man that is thinking about the interests of his own people first and foremost. That is a man that should be emulated. You will see all of the atrocity of Mr. OBASANJO against his own people, his mother's people, because OBASANJO is not Yoruba, by the way. So I'm going to expose him tonight. And you will compare and contrast the two of them. After this show, you will learn to respect Mr. Buhari because he's a good role model to what we have been crying for, self-preservation. So let me now continue. The first thing Mr. Obasanjo did in 1976 was to take over the Yoruba television station and radio station. The Yoruba television station then was called WNTV. He turned the Yoruba television station WNTV into NTA and Radio Nigeria. Look, you have McDonald's everywhere. You have KFC everywhere. You have some banks branches everywhere. These are franchises. McDonald's in America, McDonald's in England, McDonald's in Yoruba, and these are franchises of the McDonald's company. It is not owned by the original McDonald's. The people are using that brand name. NTA belongs to Yoruba Nation. It is our television station. It is the ingenuity of Awolowo that brought about that television station. But that was taken away from the Yoruba Nation by this horrible man called Mr. Obasanjo. He took it away in 1976, shortly after he became the head of state. In any case, it was imposed on the people. You will see the difference between Mr. Buhari and Mr. Obasanjo. Mr. Buhari is a role model. It's a man that Yoruba youth need to emulate in order to think Yoruba first. You will see how Obasanjo destroyed the Yoruba Nation. That man should not be alive. Believe you me, it's evil. He brought us to where we are now as a Yoruba people. So in 1976, he took away our television station. When we conducted a research in 2013, we asked Yoruba youth, any ideas about NTA, Nigerian Television Authority? 46% of them have no clue about the fact that that television station belonged to the Yoruba Nation, but it was taken away from us. The ingenuity of Awolowo brought about that first television station in Africa. We had television station before France. Recently, when I was listening to Are Ona Kakanfo interview on YouTube, he said that Yoruba were the fourth nation on the planet Earth to have television station. They took away that television station from us and turned it into NTA. Today, all your big brother Nigeria, and South Africa, South Africa, nothing shape. South African television station, we had television station before South Africa. We were the first to have television station in Africa. We have television station before France. But Yoruba cannot run anything as per television station because they have turned us into slaves in our homeland. So they took away what belongs to us. That was first thing Obasanjo did in 1976. Now let me go further. In September 1976, Obasanjo introduced universal primary education. They call it UPE. Do you know why he introduced that? Because Hausa Fulani are backward educationally. Also, he wanted to bring Yoruba and Hausa Fulani at par educationally. So he introduced universal primary education, UPE, to bring the Yoruba nation at par with the Hausa Fulani nation. So do you know what he did? Intentionally, he takes over all the Yoruba teachers training colleges, all established secondary schools across Yoruba land, side by side with all primary schools, including established private secondary schools in Yoruba land. And he began to change the curriculum under his central government. He called it universal primary education, which affected the Yoruba education negatively. Obasanjo took away all the Yoruba schools, which was run under the Yoruba regional government. He took away all our teacher training colleges, all secondary school, all primary school, and he introduced universal curriculum. The same curriculum before then, before September 1976, the Yoruba educational system is different from that of the Igbo. It is different from that of the Hausa Fulani. Obasanjo took away all our schools. The Unity School, you shout Unity School across the nation now. These were Yoruba schools taken away from Yoruba people in 1976 by Mr. Obasanjo because he wanted to bring us down. He wanted to bring us to the same level of Hausa Fulani education. So he took over the schools from us and brought about what is called universal primary education, brought about the same curriculum, school curriculum with the Hausa, with the Igbo. And this is when we started having negative impact on our education system. This guy destroyed you. Is Mr. Buhari doing the same thing to his Fulani people? No. Mr. Buhari is thinking about the interest and welfare of his Fulani people. But when this horrible man called Obasanjo was president of Nigeria, It destroyed the Yoruba nation. Fulani, Mr. Buhari, a Fulani man, is building the future for the Fulani nation. After he's gone, the entire Fulani nation will be praising him. But this horrible man called Obasanjo, in fact, this is why we have to be conscious of the fact that who are the people speaking for Yoruba? Because Obasanjo is not Yoruba. I'm going to tell you, everybody knows this is not news. His mother was Yoruba, but his father was Igbo. So he doesn't have the love of the Yoruba nation. He destroyed us, and we will destroy him. Again, in 1976, Obasanjo, as part of bringing the Hausa Fulani nation at par with the Yoruba nation educationally, he ensured that the University of Ife. Let me tell you one thing about the University of Ife. The language that was designed for education at that school was Yoruba. That was the most beautiful. You see, that was the second university in the entire Africa. The first university, I think, was in Egypt, which was established before Jesus Christ was born. The University of Ibadan was just an annex of University of London, I think. But the first university that was set up within the Yoruba nation, established by the Yoruba people, was the University of Ife. Obasanjo took it over. He centralized the admission process. That university belonged to Yoruba nation. That should be the best university. When you are talking about Oxford University, by the time you mention Harvard University, the next university should be University of Ife. But this horrible man called Obasanjo destroyed that school. He destroyed that school. It should be the pride of the Yoruba nation. The best of Yoruba brain should be going to that school. But that school has been destroyed. Nobody wants to go there. Courtesy of Mr. Obasanjo, he ruined the Yoruba nation. And we will ruin him because we are the generation we have been waiting for. So he took over that. There was a decree under the NUC reconstituted decree number 1 of 1976. That was the decree Obasanjo used in taking over that university from us. It centralized the admission process. It destroyed the Yoruba nation. The fabric of our nation, which is education, it destroyed everything. It took over all the teacher training schools, all the secondary school, all the primary school, all the private school in Yoruba land in 1976, and it turned it into federal schools. Completely. It destroyed the education we have had, because that is the only way you can safeguard your own civilization. But it targeted that. It destroyed it. Today, we all know that Yoruba are gullible. How can a Yoruba graduate, you have first degree, a master's degree, some with PhD, they will pick their belongings, head straight to London to go and be washing their toilets, go straight down to America to go and be doing cab driving. Yoruba with education, for that matter. This is what Obasanjo has done to us. This is how Obasanjo has destroyed our nation. So in 1976, again, Mr. Obasanjo nationalized the Liberty Stadium. That was the first stadium in the entire Africa. Liberty Stadium in Ibadan, now Obafemi Awolowo Stadium. Among other things, belonging to the government of the Yoruba people, were similarly taken over by the Nigerian authority under Mr. Obasanjo. That belongs to us. Let me remind you. You remember the meeting the Yoruba people had at Ibadan, at Lake Osalami. The Yoruba couldn't even use Liberty Stadium, their own stadium. The stadium that was built with their money. That stadium will have accommodated them, but they have to go and use Adamasingba Stadium. We couldn't even use Liberty Stadium that belongs to us because it has been taken over by the federal government. It was taken over by Obasanjo, who claimed to be Yoruba man. It's not Yoruba man. It's not. So that's why he has always been against the interests and welfare of the Yoruba nation. So we're talking about Buhari today. Everybody is shouting. You will see, I'm going to expose. Under Obasanjo, the Yoruba that were murdered. Under his government, when he was president, how many Fulani has been killed under Mr. Buhari? So you continue to condemn Mr. Buhari, a man that is safeguarding and protecting the interests and welfare of his own people. Kò sí èpètè lè gbé Buhari ṣe ẹ̀yin Yorùbá. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń pera yín pé Southern Unity Southern. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ lè sọ ní búburú lórí Buhari tó máa ṣe mọ́ lára. Ẹni tó ń sin àwọn ọmọ ìlú ẹ̀, ẹni tó ń wá interest àwọn ọmọ ìlú ẹ̀. Orí ẹ̀ pé títí ó tún kọ́lé lu train station. Ó tún gbé láti Nigeria wọ Niger Republic to serve the interest of the Fulani and Hausa who are in Niger Republic. Ó ń ṣépè fún èpè ó lè ràn. Asasi ò lè mú Buhari ẹ̀yin láyé yín máa bàjẹ́ until you start thinking about Yoruba nation first. That is where we were going to have greatness. And I'm showing you what Obasanjo, a supposedly Yoruba man, has done against the interests of the Yoruba nation. Is Buhari doing the same thing? Buhari is your role model. Is a role model for the Yoruba youth. This is the man you have to think like. He's thinking about his own people first. Mr. Trump is doing the same thing. Theresa May in England is doing the same thing. Every reasonable, responsible political leader across the world are thinking about the interests and welfare of their people first and foremost. You continue to condemn Mr. Buhari. You're going to see today the atrocity Mr. Obasanjo has done on the Yoruba nation. And you think we have to be foolish for the rest of our life. That was what he did with Liberty Stadium. Like I said to you, we had a Yoruba meeting in Ibadan, Yoruba land. We couldn't even use our own stadium built with our money, Liberty Stadium, because it now belongs to the federal government. Something that was built with the money, resources, and wealth generated within the Yoruba nation. But you cannot use it because Obasanjo has nationalized it. But we are the generation that we are going to change the course of history. Believe you me, we will change it. We've been born for this purpose. In 1976, there was what is called Western Nigerian Marketing Board, which was particularly promoting cocoa farmers. This marketing board was abolished. Let me tell you one beautiful thing this marketing board did. You see, around cocoa farmers here, under the regional government we had, Awolowo ma fún wọn ní farm implements, ó ma fún wọn ní seedlings, ó ma kó tractor fún wọn, ó ma kó oríṣiríṣi fún wọn, ó tún fún wọn ní ilé ọ̀fẹ́. Gbogbo oúnjẹ tí Yorùbá ń jẹ pátápátá under regional government, èrú wà tó wà lókè Ògùn, part of Oyo state, nothing ṣe oúnjẹ yẹn. We had farm settlement. Yorùbá ò ever rely lórí Hausa ká tó jẹun. Sórí 1951-52 ni Awolowo ti ń lo wind farm tó ń fi winds generate electricity ní Èrúwà, ibẹ̀ ló kọ́ farm settlement fún Yorùbá fún bí tán fi ń produce oúnjẹ tí Yorùbá ń jẹ. Gbogbo ẹ̀ la Ọbásanjọ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá. I'm talking about the cocoa marketing board. Nǹkan tí Awolowo ṣe under the cocoa marketing board ni pé sórí ìgbà tí cocoa jẹ́ bóyá bí 15 naira per kilogram ní international market. Awolowo through the cocoa marketing board ó máa ra cocoa yẹn lọ́wọ́ àwọn cocoa farmers wa. Ó fún wọn nílé ọ̀fẹ́, ó fún wọn ní farm implement ọ̀fẹ́, seedling ọ̀fẹ́. A wá ra cocoa yẹn ní 12 naira. A wá ta 12 naira yẹn, a wá ta ní international market ní 15 naira. So the Western Nigeria again 3 naira. Àwọn cocoa farmer tó nílé ọ̀fẹ́, tó ní sí farm implement ọ̀fẹ́, wọ́n á gain. Àwọn cocoa farmers yẹn make owó, òun la fi ń túnlẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe. Nígbà yẹn owó kòkó l'Ọ̀ṣun, owó kòkó l'Oǹdó, owó kòkó l'Èkìtì la fi kọ́ industrial estate s'Èkó, Àpápá, Ìlúpéjú industrial estate, Olúyọ̀lé n'Ìbàdàn industrial estate. Owó kòkó àwọn Yorùbá tó wà l'Èkìtì, tó wà l'Oǹdó, tó wà l'Ọ̀ṣun la fi kọ́. So tí Awólọ́wọ̀ bá rí pé price kòkó ti fall in international market, say from 15 naira to 10 naira, ó máa ra kòkó yẹn lọ́wọ́ àwọn cocoa farmers wa, ó ì máa rà ní 12 naira. Kò ní rà ní international price because ó fẹ́ jẹ́ kí àwọn cocoa farmer yẹn wà sustainable. Nǹkan tó máa wá ṣe ni pé ó máa wá keep èyí tó ti rà yẹn, ó máa fi sí storage tí international market price kòkó máa fi increase. Nǹkan tí cocoa marketing board ṣe nìyẹn. Nǹkan tá yí àwọn àgbẹ̀ wa fi dá nìyẹn. Nǹkan tá fi ní cocoa house nìyẹn. Nǹkan tá fi ní Liberty Stadium nìyẹn. Nǹkan tá fi ní WNTV station nìyẹn. Nǹkan tá fi ṣe free education nìyẹn. Owó kòkó ni Ọbásanjọ́ target ó abolish cocoa marketing board. Ó fẹ́ báyé Yorùbá jẹ́. Ọlọ́run Lédùmarè, Ọlọ́run tó lọ lọ́jọ́ èní, ó máa báyé man yẹn jẹ́ ni. Man yẹn ò ní ṣàǹfààní fúnra rẹ̀. Because we are the generation that is study gbogbo báyé Yorùbá ti bàjẹ́, and if a change course of history. So this man is the enemy within. I am going to tell you one thing. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Ọbásanjọ́ jẹ́ òyìnbó ni, tó bá jẹ́ pé white American ló wà, tó jẹ́, tó dẹ̀ ń gba America, tó dẹ̀ wà in position of power, tó dẹ̀ ń báyé white Americans jẹ́, àwọn white Americans á ti pa, wọn ò ní waste time. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Ọbásanjọ́ jẹ́ English ni, tó wà in position of power in England, tó dẹ̀ ń báyé àwọn English jẹ́, believe you me, our English àti pàtìpẹ̀tìpẹ̀ kò ní survive. But nítorí pé our Yorùbá youth go, our very gullible, ni ọmọ ẹ̀ ṣe survive dè ní. Tó bá jẹ́ pé òyìnbó ni kò ní survive pẹ̀lú gbogbo atrocity tó ṣe fún Yorùbá. So nǹkan tó ṣe fún wa lórí gbogbo marketing board nìyẹn, ó bàjẹ́. So wọn ibi kan wà tí wọ́n ní Ìbàdàn tó ń pè ní Lafian Canning Company lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ hotel kan báyìí tó wà níbi àpáta gàngà yẹn. Ibi tí wọ́n ti ń produce gbogbo juice tá mú nìyẹn in the 50s, 60s. Ọbásanjọ́ báyé gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀. Cement tí Yorùbá ń ṣe ewékòrò, Ọbásanjọ́ ta fáwọn Gàmbàrí. Ó ta fáwọn Gàmbàrí nǹkan tí Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe. Wind farm tí wọ́n fi winds tó ti generate electricity la fi ń build the farm settlement wa ní Èrúwà bí mo ṣe sọ. Nígbà tó Ọbásanjọ́ padà wá ní second time tó di civilian president. Ṣebí gbà yẹn ló fún contract Andrew Young l'America black man ló fún contract kó wá máa ṣe wind farm. Nǹkan tó Ọbásanjọ́ tí Awólọ́wọ̀ ti ń ṣe láti 1950s. Nǹkan tí Yorùbá fi ń generate electricity láti 1950s. Tó Ọbásanjọ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ wa tó bàjẹ́. Ayé man yẹn ò lè ever dá. And again in 1976, Obasanjo sought to increase Hausa Fulani local food production by reducing that of the Yoruba nation. And he dabbles extensively into the Yoruba agricultural farm settlement. He took over all our farm settlement in Yoruba land under the fraudulent Operation Feed the Nation. Gbogbo Yoruba youth of my age, ó ti gbàgbé ẹ̀. Obasanjo ló gbé kíní ẹ̀ wá ó pè ní Operation Feed the Nation. Ó fi gba gbogbo farm settlement wa. Torí farm settlement ni Awólọ́wọ̀ dá sílẹ̀ tá ti ń produce oúnjẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ta ló ń depend lórí Fúlàní láti ra tomato, láti ra ata, láti rẹran. Gbogbo ẹ̀ la nílẹ̀ Yorùbá under farm settlement táwọn èèyàn ṣiṣẹ́ lọ rẹpẹrẹpẹ. Ọbásanjọ́ came up with Operation Feed the Nation. Ó gba gbogbo farm settlement yẹn lọ́wọ́ wa. Òun ló sọ di Ọbásanjọ́ farm lẹ́nìí. Ayé máa yẹn ò lè dá. Ó máa kò ní ṣàǹfààní. Toro a nation Yorùbá pẹ̀lú civilization wa a dẹ̀ jẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ àtọ̀húnrìn wa ọmọ Igbo because Igbo làwùsà ó dẹ̀ pa iye Yorùbá jẹ́ ó destroy Yorùbá ni completely. It took our farm settlement away from us under the fraudulent Operation Feed the Nation. The Yoruba never depended on the North for food. But since Obasanjo took away the Yoruba farm settlement through its fraudulent Operation Feed the Nation program, Yoruba land has relied on the North for food. Ṣé tomati ni a lè gbìn ni, ewédú la ní ni, cassava la ní ni, àgbàdo la lè gbìn ni, mango la lè gbìn ni tá máa fi ṣe juice wa, ọsàn la lè gbìn ni. Obasanjo gba gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín because he was working for the Fulani. Like I said in the beginning, Obasanjo was imposed on us as the head of state of Nigeria on the 13th of February 1976. But like I said, he wasn't the head of state. I'm going to give you the name of the man who was your head of state. He was just a figurehead president, head of state, Obasanjo. Then, now again, I'm talking about the atrocity of Mr. Obasanjo against the Yoruba nation and our people. In 1976, Fela compound, Kalakuta Republic, where he has his family, his band members, and a recording studio. He had a free health clinic in that accommodation. The compound was burned to the ground on February 18, 1977, after 1,000 armed Hausa Fulani soldiers on the instruction of Danjuma, who was working under Obasanjo then. They went into Fela's compound and burned down that house. Obasanjo, he claimed to be Yoruba. How many Fulani under Buhari has his house been burned down? Tell me, how many Fulani? Atiku is a Fulani man. Ribadu is a Fulani man. This guy, Danzuki, is a Fulani. He has been put in house arrest. The only reason Buhari fitimole ni pe in 1985, he was the one who went and arrested Buhari and imprisoned him. So one thing Danzuki Jofinle ni pe oh gudo se buruku si Fulani egbe. That's why Buhari she retaliate to she gbese won. Kò ní pa kí Buhari tó kúrò máa yọ jáde ó fi kọ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n ni pé Fulani ò gbọ́dọ̀ dalẹ̀ ara wọn. Olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ under him wọ́n jó compound Fẹlá, wọ́n jó ilé Fẹlá, ilé táwọn family ẹ̀ ń gbé, ilé tí ó ní àwọn bands ẹ̀ ń gbé, ibi tí record studio wà, ibi tó ní hospitals, wọ́n jó under Obasanjo, a Yoruba president, head of state, look where under him. Aye Fulani melo not bad under Buhari. In 1978, Fela's mother, Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, was thrown from a third-floor window of Fela Kalakuta Republic House when it was stormed by armed Hausa Fulani military personnel sent there by Danjuma and Obasanjo. Fela's mother lapsed into a coma in February of that year and died on the 13th of April 1978 as a result of her injuries. Under Obasanjo, not by Iya Fela. Iya Fela could drive car in Nigeria history. Fela Yoruba ni olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ ṣebí Yorùbá ló pera ẹ̀. Under his presidency not pa Iya Fela olórí burúkú Fúlàní mélòó ni Buhari ti pa. Fúlàní mélòó ni Buhari ti pa. Nígbà tí Buhari kọ́kọ́ wá 1983 gbogbo àwọn tó tì mọ́lé pátápátá ọmọ Yorùbá ni. Fúlàní mélòó ni Buhari ó ti pa. Olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ under him wọ́n jó ilé Fẹlá, under him wọ́n pa Ìyá Fẹlá. Ayé Ọbásanjọ́ ò lè dá, kò ní kú re kò dẹ̀ ní ṣàǹfààní. Ibi tó ṣe fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá, ibi ló máa bá. Ọlọ́run máa lọ́ra ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ìyà máa jẹ́ lójú ayé ẹ̀. Olórí burúkú èèyàn ni. A whole nation, one man would have destroyed the future of that nation. Nǹkan tí mo fi encourage Yorùbá, you are too weak, you are too fearful. Religion, Christianity and Islam, ó ti jẹ́ kẹ́ dọ̀dẹ̀. Ọbásanjọ́ ò lè jẹ́ English. Kó commit gbogbo atrocity against the English people. Àwọn English youth á ti pa. Ọbásanjọ́ cannot be a white American. And in America, committing all of this same atrocity against the white Americans. White American youth will have since decimated him. But today he's still surviving because the Yoruba, you have no clue. You have no sense of history. This hopeless man is still surviving. The man who single-handedly destroyed the civilization of the Yoruba nation. Opa Iya Fela. He was the president, head of state, when Fela's mother was killed. On the 29th of March. Now, you are talking about Fulani cow colony. Yeah, Fulani are demanding for lands. Right? Do you know who is responsible for that? You are blaming Buhari, right? It is Obasanjo who is responsible for that under his Land Use Act. And I'm going to explain it. So you calm down and know it. So that's why I am not like an ordinary young Yorubas. I want you to read newspaper. I want you in the library. I want you more history. One can react on emotion. You don't. You have to understand the past. You observe the present in order for you to be able to predict the future. You don't just make your decision for the future based on what is happening now. That is why I have never supported the Southern Unity, and I will not support the Southern Unity unless the Igbo respect and support the Yoruba political interest, first and foremost. Now, we are talking about Fulani headsmen, right? Killing everybody, demanding for lands. Who is responsible for that? It is not Mr. Buhari, by the way. It is Obasanjo, and I'm going to tell you. On the 29th of March 1978, Obasanjo made the Land Use Act an integral part of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Land Use Act, which reads, and I'm going to read it to you, listen very well. The Land Use Act reads, all the rights formerly vested in the holder in respect of the excess of the land shall, in the commencement of this act, be extinguished, and the excess of the land shall be taken over by the state and the federal government and administered as provided in these acts. Olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ ló promulgate Land Use Act. Ó gbalẹ̀ kúrò nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, families ló ní ilẹ̀. Ọba gangan fúnra rẹ̀, ilẹ̀ títí ẹ̀ yàtọ̀ sáwọn commoners. In Yoruba land, it is the families who owns the land. But Obasanjo took that land away from us. You know the target was? It was the Apapa ports. Because before that Land Use Act, the port belonged to the Yoruba nation. But he promulgated that Land Use Act to take away the port from the Yoruba nation, to take away the Yoruba land from Yoruba people, so that Hausa Fulani can claim lands. He promulgated that into law in 1978. The land used to belong to the family. Let me go ahead with that. The Land Use Act was promulgated into law to essentially take the Yoruba ports and waterways away from the control of the Yoruba people and into the hands of the Hausa Fulani. The act altered the existing laws in Yoruba land by removing families and chiefs from the trusteeship of the land and replaced them with the federal and state government, thus constituting the greatest clog in the wheel of housing development in Yoruba land. Olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ ló dá wa lálẹ̀. Ó gbalẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá ní through the Land Use Act. Ó gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ó sọ di ilẹ̀ federal government. Ayé máa yẹn ò ní dá nítorí pé Yorùbá youth ò kì í kàwé. Wọ́n kàn ní certificate àwọn tó rí wọn ò pé. Wọ́n lọ nulẹ̀ nílùú òyìnbó, wọ́n lọ ń ṣe taxi driver nílùú òyìnbó. Owó burúkú wà l'Ékòó, owó burúkú wà n'Íbàdàn, owó wà l'Ékìtì, owó wà l'Ọ́ṣun, owó wà ní Kwara, owó wà ní Kogi, owó wà ní Ṣẹ̀kírì land. But iṣẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ló ń ṣe fóyìnbó. And so for let us fight for the freedom, for the interests of our children and our children yet unborn. One prefer láti máa forgọ́tà fóyìnbó. One prefer láti máa nu toilet fóyìnbó. Àwọn tí wọ́n ti bàjẹ́. You don't have sense of history. You continue to blame the English. You continue to call the white American racist. They are not racist. They are very smart. They built a beautiful civilization. Awolowo build the same thing, but our generation has refused to move a step ahead. You are talking about Fulani cow colony. Obasanjo took away your land as far back as 1978. You are not blaming him. You are blaming Fulani who are taking advantage of what Obasanjo did. You know, I told you, Fulani imposed him on you in 1976. So they literally dictated to him. Ọmọ àlè ló máa ń ṣe bó ṣe ń ṣe yẹn. Ìyá Ọbásanjọ́ ni Yorùbá, bàbá ẹ̀ ọmọ Ìgbò ni. Torí ẹ̀ ló ṣe gbàbọ̀dẹ̀ fún Yorùbá. Ó báyé Yorùbá jẹ́. Tó yẹ pé tá bá máa tún Yorùbá land ṣe lẹ́yìn, a gbọ́dọ̀ lé Ọbásanjọ́ kúrò Yorùbá land. This is what I'm going to suggest at the end of my presentation. A gbọ́dọ̀ lé alọ́rámírámí láàrin ẹnìkan kì í rábọ̀ ẹ̀. Láyé àtijọ́, Aláàfin bó ṣe lágbára tó sì jẹ́ pé political head of state of the Yoruba ló jẹ́. Táláàfin bá mẹ́sọ̀, wọ́n máa ṣígbá fún ni. Àwọn Ọ̀yọ́mèsì, wọ́n á ṣígbá fún ni pé kó lọ parẹ́, kó lọ commit suicide. Atrocity tí Ọbásanjọ́ ṣe, ó dẹ̀ yín mingle pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn ọba wa, ó dẹ̀ yín lọ káàkiri, ó dẹ̀ yín ṣe oríṣiríṣi. Yorùbá youth ò dẹ̀ tí ì pa, Yorùbá youth ò dẹ̀ tí ì dá sẹ́ríà fún. Tó bá jẹ́ pé òyìnbó lọ Ọbásanjọ́ á ti kú tipẹ́tipẹ́. Àwọn kan sọ pé Ọbásanjọ́ lóògùn. It's a challenge you can throw to everybody. Tó Ọbásanjọ́ bá mọ̀ pé òun lóògùn lóòótọ́. Èmi respect Oṣó, mo respect Àjẹ́ o, mo mọ̀ pé ògùn wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá o. Tó bá mọ oríkì mi, ṣe mọ̀ pé àwọn Yorùbá youth ò kí n mọ oríkì ti tèmi, combination ti ìyá mi àti bàbá mi is ó le gan. Ọmọ wa ọmọ ẹkùn, ọmọ ilé ìgbòjò bàbá eégún, ògbójú lóògùn sọmọ Àjẹ́ǹkù, ó wọlé ikú fọná. That is my oríkì. Òrìṣà dẹ̀ ni mò ń ṣe. Àwa tá à ń ṣòrìṣà ò kí ń purọ́, tá bá rò tó a máa sọ ni. Ayé Ọbásanjọ́ máa bàjẹ́ ni, toró báyé Yorùbá jẹ́. Ọbásanjọ́ took away our lands. He took away your lands. That is why today the Fulani are so bold. They are telling you they want cow colonies. Because go and read the constitution. The land has been taken away from you. It now belongs to the state and the federal government. Buhari is the president. As the president, he can choose to allocate your land to the Fulanis. Obasanjo brought it upon you, the Yorubites. You have no clue. You have no clue. You are blaming the Fulani. I am asking you, Buhari is your president, right? How many Fulani has he killed? How many Fulani political leaders has he destroyed their life? The same way Obasanjo did to the Yoruba nation. Is fighting for Fulani interest. Buhari, Obasanjo destroyed Yoruba land. He took away your land. Today, you cannot even build. You can't build anymore. Because under the Land Use Act, the land belongs to the state government. It belongs to the federal government, not you. But it used to belong to the families and chiefs. As powerful as the Aláàfin was in the whole Yoruba empire, wọ́n bí Aláàfin lè kó gbalẹ̀ any family. Wọ́n bí Aláàfin lè kó gbalẹ̀ any chiefs. Ọbásanjọ́ gbalẹ̀ gbogbo Yorùbá mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́. Ó dẹ̀ ń live up till now. Yorùbá yìí tó dẹ̀ mọ́ nǹkan táwọn máa ṣe sí. So àwọn Haúsá tó sọ pé àwọn Fúlàní tó sọ pé àwọn fẹ́lẹ̀ tipátipá kan gé yín lórí, kan gé yín ládàá. Wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Wọ́n smart, wọ́n mọ law. Ọbásanjọ́ ti gba lẹ́yìn lọ́wọ́ yín. Hausa ò lómi, right? But àwọn wo ló ń control port Yorùbá? Hausa Fúlàní. Hausa ò lépo. Àwọn wo ló ń control epo àwọn ọmọ ìjọ? Hausa Fúlàní. Ayé Yorùbá ti bàjẹ́. Ọbásanjọ́ ló ba ayé wa jẹ́. Àwa náà fúnra wa gbọ́dọ̀ ba ayé ẹ̀ jẹ́ ni. In 1979, Obasanjo openly boasted how he rigged Alhaji Shehu Shagari, a Fulani, against Chief Obafemi Awolowo, a Yoruba, in the 1979 presidential election, while serving as a military head of state. He said it in his book. He said it in his book. He has said it openly. Olohun jẹ́ kí Shagari win election 1979. Shagari was contesting with a Yoruba man, Awolowo. Ọlọ́run ló ra ẹ̀mí ẹ̀. Obasanjo, a Yoruba man, right? Yeah, Yoruba, you don't forget, but by ọmọ Igbo ni. Awolowo was contesting an election against a Fulani Shagari, but Obasanjo rigged Fulani as president. Buhari today, if Buhari will not contest election in 2019, believe you me, he will make sure another Fulani is there. The Fulani understands self-preservation. Yoruba, you don't understand self-preservation. That is the difference. That is why we seem to be in the midst of so much. We seem to be suffering. Obasanjo made Shagari a Fulani president in 1979. He rigged the election against a Yoruba citizen, Awolowo. Do you think Buhari can do that? Buhari went as far back, as far as Niger Republic, as far as Chad Republic, to go and appoint somebody with a political position. He made a Fulani outside Nigeria a political appointee under his government. But Obasanjo, a Yoruba man, rigged out a Yoruba man as president of Nigeria. Ayi Obasanjo ma san bi ara ni, kò ní sún wọn fún. Olórí burúkú òun ló sọ Yorùbá di ẹdun arinlẹ̀. Òun ló ba ayé Yorùbá jẹ́. The best of our brains are in America, doing all manners of horrible jobs. The best of our brains are across Europe doing all manners of horrible jobs. Like what I said to some, I said something. I live in England. There are 98,000 Nigerians who are living in England. Nigerians that were born in Nigeria. They were born outside England. They are living in England. Out of that 98,000, 42,000 are Yoruba, like myself. If you go across Yoruba land, there are 27,000 English who are living in our own country. Are they washing our toilets? Are they cleaning our streets? Are they taking care of our aged? Are they doing mundane, horrible jobs in our country? No. But in their country, we do horrible jobs. But they in our country, the English who are in our country, they are not as educated as the Yoruba who are in their country. The English who are in our country, in Yoruba, they are the one controlling our shipping. They are the one controlling our forest market. They are the one controlling our capital market. They are the one controlling our oil and gas. Yet they don't have the same education as the Yoruba who are in England. But the Yoruba who are in England are doing security guard for the English. They are working as cashier in their supermarket. They are cleaning their hospitals as hospital spotter. They are taking care of their aged people. They are taking care of their disabled people. That is the kind of job we do in their country. Yet you don't want to fight for Oduduwa Republic. You want to continue to live a miserable life with your qualitative education. Who brought all of this upon you? Mr. Obasanjo. You continue to abuse Buhari, a man who is fighting for the interests of his own people. What is suffering in the beginning of this? There is no amount of causes you can place on Mr. Buhari that will have any impact on him. He will continue to survive because he loves his people. He's fighting for the interests and welfare of his people. And who are his people? Fulani first and foremost. You have to be reasonable. So this is what Obasanjo did. He rigged the election against a Yoruba citizen, Awolowo, in 1979. And he wrote it in his book. He has continued to say this openly, that he made Shagari president. A horrible man, somebody that should be shot. It destroyed our life. Nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn tó ń ṣe òrìṣà máa ń sọ pé ẹni tó bá dalẹ̀ ó gbọ́dọ̀ balẹ̀ lọ ni. We're not like Christians and Muslims tó máa parọ́ tó máa ba gbogbo ayé jẹ́ tí wọ́n ní máa sòótọ́. It should be mentioned that Fulani decorated Obasanjo as the head of state. Like I said in the beginning, He was appointed as the head of state in 1976, February 13, 1976. But the real power behind the throne was a Fulani lieutenant colonel who was catapulted overnight to brigadier general in the person of Shehu Yaradua. When Obasanjo was the head of state in 1976 to 1979, he was just a figurehead of state. The power was Shehu Yaradua. Shehu Yaradua was an ordinary lieutenant colonel. Oh, maybe lieutenant colonel is low in the ranking of the army. But he was made brigadier general just to be the deputy to Mr. Obasanjo. But he was actually the head of state. He controls everything. Gbogbo television station Yoruba tó Obasanjo gbà, Yaradua ló sọ pé kó gbà. Gbogbo farm settlements Yoruba, gbogbo schools, teaching, training colleges, secondary school, primary school, private schools, tí Obasanjo gbà, Yaradua, Shehu Yaradua ló sọ pé kó gbà. Everything tí Obasanjo báyé Yoruba jẹ́, Shehu Yaradua ló sọ pé kó ṣe. He was under the control of that man. He was just a figurehead president. Now I'll tell you a story, and then you can go and confirm this night. People can confirm it. Obasanjo forced Major General Olutoye. Majority of you don't know it. Obasanjo forced Major General Olutoye, now Oba of Idoani in Ondo State. He forced that man to retire. Do you know what the man said to him? Immediately Obasanjo became the head of state in 1976. Major General Olutoye went to him and said to him, Baba ti ẹ̀kọ́ ló ṣe pé, ó ní pé àwọn Haúsá ló pọ̀ ní àmì, a gbọ́dọ̀ fi Yorùbá síbẹ̀. Because àwọn Igbo náà pọ̀ in the army. Nǹkan tí Olutoye sọ fún yẹn o. Ipe àwọn Igbo àti Haúsá wọ́n ti take over army, wọ́n wá ń lo army yẹn against Yorùbá. Ó ní pé kí Ọbásanjọ́ kó gbé gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá síbẹ̀. Ṣèbí lè ní Buhari gbogbo àwọn security agency ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ Fúlàní ló fi sí. Major General Olutoye saw the same thing for Obasanjo in 1976. Kí Ọbásanjọ́ ṣe ó pè wá. Ó ní kó wá repeat the same thing lójú Shehu Yaradua. Man yẹn very bold. Man yẹn sọ fún. Ó ní pé nínú military àwọn ọmọ Haúsá ló wà ńbẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ Igbo. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ń lo power military láti fi control Yorùbá. Òun dẹ̀ advise Ọbásanjọ́ pé kó jẹ́ kí ọmọ Yorùbá gba ọgbọ́n military. The next day, Obasanjo sack man inú rédíò náà ti sack it. The man is now an Oba. If I'm lying, go and see. I have read it in his book. Because I can kàwé ẹni tẹ́ jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. Olórí burúkú l'Ọbásanjọ́. Èmi ni mo expose Nigerians the fact pé gbogbo àwọn tó ń control military, police ni o, army ni o, intelligence ni o, DSS ni o, EFCC ni o, name it. Ọmọ Fúlàní ló wà ńbẹ̀. That was the same thing. Tí wọ́n sọ fún Ọbásanjọ́ 1976 pé look, àwọn ọmọ Igbo ló wà nínú army. Agurosin ó lo military, ó bà regional government jẹ́. Àwọn ọmọ Hausa gba ìjọba lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ because kò sọ́mọ Yorùbá tó wà nínú military. Ó dẹ̀ advice Ọbásanjọ́ kó ọmọ Yorùbá sínú military káà náà ní backbone. Ọbásanjọ́ ó sack ẹ̀. Ọbásanjọ́ went and told Yaradua and sack this man. The man is now an Oba. If I'm lying, go and confirm. Olórí burúkú l'Ọbásanjọ́. See, one thing you do not understand, you Yoruba youth, is this. Go to United States of America. White interests matter most to white people first and foremost. Come to England, which is inside the United Kingdom. The interests of the English supersede all other interests. What Fulani Buhari is doing is the president of Nigeria. So you expected him to appoint Igbo and Yoruba into the military, into the police, into the other agency. Wọ́n á gbàjọba mọ́ lọ́wọ́ báyé ṣe rí nìyẹn. Àwọn tó trust tó jẹ́ èèyàn tiẹ̀ ló máa appoint. Olórí burúkú Ọbásanjọ́ kò jẹ́ kí Yorùbá wà in the army. Ayé máa yàn lè dá. If I'm lying about this, Oba Idoani is still very much alive. You can go and confirm from him. Now, all of you are abusing. If I were to be the president of Nigeria, there is one thing that we do in the interest of the Yoruba nation. Because the Yoruba contribute 49% of the income of the federal government of Nigeria. We produce 80% of the gross domestic product of Nigeria, and we are the majority in terms of the population, 25%. So why won't I take care of the interests of the economic backbone of the nation? We are, white Americans are the economic backbone of America. So they rule over all others because they have the economic backbone. They produce the wealth. The Yoruba produce the wealth, but it is Fulani who are ruling over you because you have allowed horrible man to represent your interests, a horrible Obasanjo. In 1967, listen to this, 1967, when Brigadier Banjo invaded former Midwest and reached Ore during the Biafra War, he sent messages to Obasanjo through Professor Wole Soyinka. Banjo didn't want to enter Yoruba land just like that. Obasanjo revealed what Soyinka told him to General Gowon. Professor Soyinka was detained to spend 2 years in prison. Olórí burúkú l'Obasanjo ayé ẹ̀ máa bàjẹ́ ni kò lè ṣàǹfààní, kò lè ṣàpẹ́ because inú ń bí Yorùbá ti wake up. Ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ̀, ṣe bá ń sọ lórí chemical and biological weapon, ó máa jọ yín lójú. Ṣe bá ordinary Ebola, ẹ̀sà. Para àwọn Yorùbá tó bá gbé Ebola jáde fáwọn Fúlàní ẹ̀sìn, ṣáwọn Fúlàní ẹ̀sìn máa dúró lójú Ebola. Pẹ̀lú AK-47 tó ń kó kiri tó fi ń dáran, tó bá rí Ebola wọ́n máa dúró. Gbogbo ariwo tẹ́ ń pa lórí internet. Fúlàní ti pa yín o, wọ́n ti pa wọ́n tó ń bẹ́nu oríṣiríṣi. Ẹ̀yin ò ṣe gbé Ebola jáde pẹ̀lú wọn. Kẹ́wọ́ bóyá wọ́n máa dúró. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀. Brigadier Banjo was part of the Igbo Biafran soldier. Ojukwu sent him to Yoruba land to go and invade Yoruba land. He's a Yoruba citizen. Olóhun ò lè invade ìlú òun. By the time he started about to Diore, he sent message to Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka, look, Ojukwu sent me to come and attack my homeland. I cannot attack my homeland. So I want the Yoruba to defend their homeland. I want the Yoruba to get out of Nigeria. That was what Brigadier Banjo told Soyinka. Soyinka went to Obasanjo and said, look, Obasanjo, we have to take Yoruba land out of Nigeria. Obasanjo went and told Gowon. Gowon arrested Wole Soyinka. He was in prison for 2 years. You don't know the story. Olórí burúkú ayé àtọ̀run l'Ọbásanjọ́, kò ní kúre, kò ní ṣàǹfààní, ìkorò ló máa gbẹ̀yìn ayé ẹ̀. Bó ṣe balẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ tó yẹn, ayé títí ẹ̀ náà máa bàjẹ́ ni. Gbogbo àwọn young Yorùbá máa root sí ni. Wọ́n máa bu nínú ilé ẹ̀, wọ́n máa bu ní anywhere tó bá dé. Olóhun lóògùn. Gbogbo ogun Yorùbá kó f'Ọbásanjọ́ kẹ́ gbé ordinary drone kẹ́ gbé fọ́mọ kékeré kan kó máa control ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú kọ̀ǹpútà. Ó máa pa Ọbásanjọ́ sínú ilé ẹ̀ ni. Èèyàn burúkú tó dẹ̀ báyé Yorùbá jẹ́. A nation that is as wealthy, so civilized, just like English. Ó dẹ̀ sọ wá di ẹdún márùn lẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ á wà lókè òkun. Ayé wọn bàjẹ́ lọ rẹ́kẹrẹ́kẹ́. People are telling me, go wá wo bá àwọn ọmọbìnrin tá máa fẹ́ sílé tán ṣe cheap, wọ́n ti daṣẹ́wó tán. Wọ́n ní 15,000, 10,000, náà fi ń bá wọn sùn. Ó dẹ̀ báyé Yorùbá jẹ́ completely. Gbogbo every Yoruba youth fẹ́ lọ sí ìlú òyìnbó. Tóyìnbó ò bá tún lu ẹ̀ ṣe. Tí white Americans ò bá tún lu wọn ṣe, ṣé Yorùbá fẹ́ sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ síbẹ̀ ni? Why tá ṣe join hand together ká tún lẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe? Kò sí nǹkan tó kàn wá pẹ̀lú ilẹ̀ Igbo, kò sí nǹkan tó kàn wá pẹ̀lú ilẹ̀ Haúsá. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa lẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ń kú of ordinary sanitation related diseases. Ṣé America fún wa lówó ká fi tọ́jú wọn ni? Ṣé England fún wa lówó ká fi tọ́jú wọn ni? Why tó owó ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe máa benefit àwọn Fúlàní, àwọn Gàmbàrí? Why? So nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ẹ o. Brigadier Banjo informed Wole Soyinka that he is coming into Yoruba land with his force, but he cannot attack his motherland. So he sent message across the Yoruba, and then Wole Soyinka contacted Obasanjo and said, look, the Yoruba have to get out of Nigeria too. Obasanjo reported Wole Soyinka and the secret to Gowon. Gowon then arrested Wole Soyinka and put him in prison for 2 years. Now let me tell you this that you do not know. In 1991, the Lagos state population was 4.4 million. In 1991, the whole Kano state population, that is Kano plus Jigawa, in 1991 was 4.2 million. I hope Yoruba youth are getting this. I can see the screen floating in somehow. I hope it's going to work out well anyway. I hope you're getting me. In 1991, Lagos state population was 4.4 million. In the same 1991, Kano state which was Kano plus Jigawa, was only 4.2 million. That was 1991. By 2006 census, which was conducted by Horrible Obasanjo, Lagos state population was then 9.4 million. Lagos state population increased from 4.4 million to 9.4 million. And wait for this. Hold Kano, that is Kano and Jigawa, increased from 4.2 million to 15.5 million under Obasanjo. Is that possible? That was a fake population, but that population was conducted by horrible, hopeless animal called Obasanjo, just to destroy Yoruba nation. Because under the unitary system, they used the fake population to distribute wealth. But where is that wealth coming from? Yoruba land and from the South. Obasanjo single-handedly gave Kano State 15.5 million population. In 1991, Lagos State was 4.4 million. By 2006, Lagos State became 9.4 million. But in 1991, Kano State, which is Kano plus Jigawa, was 4.2 million. But by 2006, under Obasanjo census, that same state became 15.5 million. Horrible Obasanjo, he gave them that figure. That was why Buhari was telling you he won Kano with 1.something million votes. That's just fake. Fake population. They are telling you today that the Fulani herdsmen, because of desert certification, or what do they call it, they are moving down south. That should tell you that the population is in the south. But when they do their population, the population will still be in the north. They are horrible people. Obasanjo is responsible for all of this. Obasanjo is responsible for all of this. He's an horrible man. Sorry, I'm not interested in the illiterate Igbos who are talking about writing stupid thing. Illiterate, you are illiterate, so I'm not like you. And let me chip in this to you, and I'm going to get you more worked up. Igbo always claim that they are the most educated now because they are passing WAEC. We know how you are passing WAEC because you constantly insult me. You know I have your information at hand. You constantly pass WAEC because you have examination centers all across Igbo that are only teaching nothing other than the question paper. You just teach your children how to pass the exam, what is going to come out in the exam. They just go straight and write the exam and score high marks. Today, where are those Igbo doctors working across Nigeria or in Yoruba land? Where are the Igbo engineers? Where are the Igbo scientists? Where are they? Are they in Yoruba land? They said they are the most educated now. We know how you are passing the exam. So I'm reading some of your comments. So you be careful. I am educating the Yoruba. I have no interest in you. I'm a conservative Yoruba. So if you insult me, I will give it back to you. I don't negotiate. So folks, that was the population that I said. Obasanjo did that. He gave old Kano State, Kano plus Jigawa, he gave them 15.5 million. How come? How come? If they have so much population, what are they contributing in terms of the wealth? Nothing. They don't have the population. This population were just written. In 1993, Obasanjo, during the June 12, 1993 election, this horrible man said that Abiola wasn't our Messiah. Abiola was a Yoruba man. Have you ever seen Buhari abusing, condemning any Fulani? Has Buhari ever condemned Atiku? Has he condemned Nuru Ribadu? Has he condemned any Fulani political leaders? No. This horrible Obasanjo in 1993 June 12 election campaign, he said Abiola wasn't our Messiah. Abiola that was likely going to win that election. A Yoruba man who is going to benefit the Yoruba nation first and foremost. Yet he was condemning him. In 1998, and I want you to listen to this very carefully, Obasanjo agreed in principle with the Hausa Fulani led by this man from Nupe, this man, Abdusalam Abubakar, to have Abiola, the winner of the June 12 presidential election, murdered by Fulani. He was thereafter appointed as president of Nigeria in 1999 by the Hausa Fulani. Look, let me tell you what happened in 1998. After the death of Abacha, the Fulani said that they will not accept Abiola to leave. They brought Pickering and Susan Rice to Nigeria to come and negotiate with Mr. Abiola, Chief Abiola. Before then, they brought this Ghanaian man. I forgot his name, Secretary General of the UN, Kofi Annan. They brought in Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Emeka Anyaoku, to come and appeal to Mr. Abiola to relinquish his mandate. Abiola was an Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. He refused. So the Hausa Fulani called Abiola, Obasanjo, and said, "We are going to kill him, and we are going to make you the president." He accepted. He accepted for Abiola to be murdered. Abiola was then murdered in 1998, and Obasanjo was made president of Nigeria in 1999. Aye Obasanjo maruni o ma san fun bi ara ni. Abiola will have changed the history of the Yoruba nation. He has changed the history of Nigeria. Obasanjo participated. He participated in the murder of Chief MKO Abiola. Òun náà máa ṣègbé ni lágbára àwọn alálẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó máa ṣègbé ni. Èèyàn burúkú ó dẹ̀ báyé Yorùbá jẹ́, ó dẹ̀ sọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ dùn arinlẹ̀ nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi. Gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá youth káàkiri. You need to go abroad. Ó bá àwọn èèyàn tó ní education tó ṣe wà useless. On the 26th November 1999, Obasanjo gave an instruction to the police that anyone who calls himself OPC member should be arrested, and if he does not agree, should be shot on sight. Many and several young Yoruba lost their life as a consequence of such barbarous order on young Yoruba people. So this is a challenge I'm giving you. On the 26th of November 1999, Obasanjo ordered the Nigerian police to kill any Yoruba youth who identified himself as OPC member. This is the time for us to retaliate and disseminate this man. Several Yoruba youth were killed in 1999 because they are associated to the OPC. Nobody is killing Fulani herdsmen. There is a whole difference between Obasanjo and Buhari. Buhari thinks about the interests of his people. No one is killing the Fulani herdsmen. They are killing everybody here, the left, right, and center. But because OPC was agitating for the interests of the Yoruba nation, this horrible Obasanjo, on 26 November 1999, he ordered for the shoot aside of all your OPC members. Several thousands of Yoruba youth were killed. Yet Yoruba youth are still listening to this man. They are still allowing this man to continue to represent the interests of the Yoruba nation. They are still allowing this man to continue to speak for the Yoruba nation. What is happening to the Fulani herdsmen under the leadership of Mr. Buhari? Nothing. Nothing. Several OPC members were murdered on the instruction of Mr. Obasanjo. In year 2000, Obasanjo frustrated the Lagos State Independent Power Project and caused the project to be either poorly operational or yet to be fully come alive after gobbing billions of naira. As president, Obasanjo stopped the 4th mainland bridge by refusing to give the necessary country guarantee to secure a World Bank loan. He stopped the 4th mainland bridge as president, Obasanjo. But you know what he did? During his administration, he awarded Kano to Borno Road, an 8-lane road of 600 kilometers. He awarded Kano to Abuja Road, a 4-lane road of 200 kilometers. Yet he denied the Lagos, the 4th mainland bridge. While the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Ilorin to Akure Road, combined are not up to 500 kilometers, and Kogi to Lagos Road of only 350 kilometers were all left undone under his administration as president when he became president in 1999 through to 2007. He stopped the 4th mainland bridge, yet he awarded the contract for the construction of Kano to Borno Road, 8 lanes, 600 kilometers, Kaduna to Abuja Road, a 4-lane road of 200 kilometers. And he did nothing for the interests of the Yoruba. Today, Mr. Buhari has just awarded railway line from his hometown to Niger Republic to serve the interests of the Hausa Fulani within the two countries. But look at Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Obasanjo couldn't award that road. Look at the fourth mainland bridge that we so desire. He refused to give the country guarantee so that we can get loan. We are not even saying that the federal government should build the fourth mainland bridge. The Lagos state government was saying that the federal government should give guarantee for the loan so that we can go abroad and source for the loan. He refused. Yet he was building road all across the north. Olórí burúkú ni Buhari ò ṣe yẹn fáwọn tiẹ̀. Ayé Buhari máa máa dáa ni. Kò ṣépè tẹ́ lè gbé Buhari ṣe kò lè mú. Kò ṣépè yẹn kò lè mú. Ẹni tó bá ń ṣe ìfẹ́ inú àwọn èèyàn tiẹ̀. Ó mọ àdúrà táwọn ọmọ Gàmbàrí ń gbà fún Buhari. Ẹni tó ń ṣe ìfẹ́ inú àwọn títí ẹ̀. Kò ṣépè tí Yorùbá lè gbéṣẹ́ kò lè rán. Ọbásanjọ́ tó pe rẹ̀ lọ́mọ Yorùbá. Ìyá ẹ̀ Yorùbá ni bàbá ẹ̀ ọmọ Ìgbò ni ó bà ayé Yorùbá jẹ́ dọ̀la. Ó ti tán fún. Because we are waking up the Yoruba youth. In 2004, Obasanjo as president of Nigeria withheld the Lagos state local government funds following the creation of 37 new local government areas in Lagos state. Even the Supreme Court ruled that the creation of the council was in order, but Obasanjo withheld the Lagos fund. This contributed to the slow rate of development in Lagos. Obasanjo ni òfun, inú bí Tinubu ngba ẹni, then Tinubu has his brain intact. He was pro-Yoruba to the core and to a fault. He created additional local government. How can Lagos state has 20 local government when Kano is having 40-something local government, 44 local government? Yet every month when we are sharing money, we are using the number of local government, we are not using the source of money. Tinubu created 34 additional local government. Instead of Obasanjo, a Yoruba man, supposedly a Yoruba man, to approve that 37 local government of Lagos state, he denied Lagos state the local government funding for 4 years. Ayé man yẹn ò lè dá. Kò lè sún wọn fún sẹ́. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Buhari, tó bá jẹ́ pé Lagos state belong to àwọn Fulani, Hausa Fulani, tí wọ́n create additional local, Buhari máa approve ẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ kejì ni. Obasanjo denied the Yoruba nation that. According to Lam Adesina, the former governor of Oyo State, in an interview with a Punch correspondent, Obasanjo and Atiku murdered Bola Ige. Bola Ige was a Yoruba man. He died, he was murdered during the presidency of Mr. Obasanjo. How many Fulani has been murdered during the presidency of Buhari? It's a question I'm asking the Yoruba youth. You continue to abuse this Mr. Buhari. You continue to abuse him. You continue to abuse him. I'm asking you, Bola Ige was one of the best brains of the Yoruba nation. This guy, in my book, look, this is my book, The Commonwealth of the Yoruba Nation. I made reference, extraction of Bola Ige's work in terms of the constitution of the Yoruba Nation. You will find it in this book. This book, by the way, is across 60 or more Yoruba universities. The books have been circulated today. Bola Ige was murdered during the presidency of Mr. Obasanjo. How many Fulani has been killed during the presidency of Mr. Buhari? None! Bola Ige was one of our best brains. He was murdered with the connivance of Obasanjo and Atiku. Because this man has done every work. He was going to the Hague to push for Oduduwa Republic. They murdered him because of that. Bola Ige, your Attorney General. He was the Attorney General. He was Minister for Power. Then the Attorney General of the Federation. The Attorney General of the Federation doesn't have security. He was murdered by Obasanjo and Atiku. Ayé Obasanjo ò lè dá. I'm asking you, ọmọ Fulani mélòó ni Buhari ti pa? Ọdẹ, ẹ ṣépè fún Buhari. You have to learn self-preservation from that man. Ọlọ́run á continue láti lọ́ra ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ because ó ti wake up Yorùbá youth kan. Obasanjo murdered Bola Ige with Atiku. Both of them. This was credited to Lam Adesina. He was the governor when Bola Ige died. So you expected him to be an authority, to know what he's saying. Obasanjo just called him and said, well, has he been confirmed dead? Lam Adesina then answered, yes, sir. He dropped the phone. Because that was his handiwork. He murdered Bola Ige. In 1979, he denied Awolowo the presidency of Nigeria. In 1998, he agreed in principle with the Hausa Fulani to murder Abiola so that he can be president. Then he murdered Bola Ige. Everything that is great in Yoruba land, he destroyed it, and the Yoruba youth are looking at him. You are looking at him. Obasanjo cannot be a white American and be doing all of this atrocity against the interests of the white in America. He will have since been decimated. I trust white American youth. We in my group were thinking like white in America. Self-preservation. Obasanjo, it is not possible for Obasanjo to be an Englishman, yet going against the political, social, and economic interests of the English in England. Yet he will be alive today. It is not possible. The English youth will have decimated him. He murdered Bola Ige, one of the greatest Yoruba to live. Obasanjo was the man who rigged Sikli Yaradua, a Fulani, as president of Nigeria in 2007. That was the worst election we've had in Nigeria. 2007, Yaradua was a Fulani guy. Has Obasanjo ever supported any Yoruba to be president of Nigeria? It's a question for you, the Yoruba youth. 1979, he rigged Shagari, a Fulani, as president. He brought in Yaradua in 2007. A Fulani, Yaradua was a Fulani. He supported Buhari in 2015, a Fulani. His actual candidate for president of Nigeria is Sule Lamido, yet another Fulani. Why has he not supported a single Yoruba citizen to be president of Nigeria? Because he hated us so much, because he's not a Yoruba man. He has never supported one single Yoruba soul. When Abiola was campaigning and everywhere, and it was very clear that he's going to win the presidency in 1993, Obasanjo said he's not our Messiah. During the election of 1979, he said the best candidate will not win. The best candidate was Awolowo. You have to show some respect. You have to show some decorum to Mr. Buhari. You understand what is self-preservation. We have never had it so good for a man to help us to change the state of mind of an average Yoruba citizen, particularly the young Yoruba. This man is helping me to do my work. This is what I've been called out to do, to liberate the mind of the young Yoruba. By the time your mind is liberated, in fact, the information I have now, you have been liberated. What we are doing is a step to that which we are going to do. We will take over Yoruba land, believe you me, by the special grace of Eledumare. We're going to do it. So he was the one who brought in Yaradua in 2007. He rigged that election. He rigged that election. If I may quickly make mention of something, Yoruba don't vote PDP in Yoruba land, but Obasanjo rigged PDP throughout Yoruba land in 2003. He rigged the election for the PDP governors. Today, the people who are shouting, the people in Yoruba land who are shouting Southern Unity are literally PDP members, because there is nothing legitimate about Southern Unity when the Igbo have never been very honest in all things they do. They have never been honest. You don't work with people who are not honest until they are willing to work for the Yoruba nation. You have to work with us because we have the wealth. 49% of the income of Nigeria, we generated it. 80% of the Nigerian GDP, we produce it. We are 25% of Nigerian population. You have to work with us. If I need to choose a friend between a poor man and somebody like Mike Adenuga, I will go for Mike Adenuga because I know I'm not wealthy. He's going to help me to be better off. That is the more reason why we want to work with white Americans. In all ramifications, white Americans are better than Yoruba nation. In healthcare, in education, in civilization, in terms of development of their country, they are fucking better than us. So we are going to benefit from them. We don't want to work with the English because the English are working with the Fulani, so we have to work with the white Americans. That's why I'm appealing to young Yoruba to stop condemning Mr. Trump. We have to work with them. But I'm not doing that. I'm not concerned about that today. I'm talking about the atrocity of Mr. Obasanjo against the Yoruba nation and our people. Majority of you have forgotten about what led to the Chibok girls that were kidnapped. You know, it's gimmick. It's all fake. Nobody kidnapped anybody. Boko Haram didn't kidnap those girls. They were kidnapped by the Hausa Fulani politician. But let me tell you one thing you may have forgotten. On the instruction of Obasanjo, the former UK Foreign Secretary, Mr. Williams Hague, consulted for the APC on how to implicate President Jonathan over the 200 Chibok school girls. You have forgotten about that. We have libraries. We can refer to references. We have some of the things we've read in our brain. Williams Hague, the former UK secretary, consulted for APC on how to implicate President Jonathan, that he was the one responsible for the Chibok girl. But we know it was the work of the Hausa Fulani, because they were working with Mr. Obama then. It's a very bad president, Mr. Obama. Very, very bad president. I don't like him. Very bad. He is the one that brought in Fulani into government. You don't know. He brought in Buhari, Obama, and Hillary Clinton. God willing, you believe me, if Hillary Clinton had won the presidency of the United States of America, believe you me, Hausa Fulani will have taken over the entire Yoruba land. Because Hillary Clinton supported radical Islamists. So that's why I'm talking to young Yoruba. We have to work with Mr. Trump. We have to work with the Republicans. And we are having informal meetings with them. We will trade with them. I'm not talking about them today. So I'm just reminding you. Again, in 2015, Obasanjo nominated Buhari for president and the APC navigator. You've forgotten about that. And he enlisted the support of President Obama, Senator John McCain, and Senator Hillary Clinton to undermine Jonathan administration in favor of a Fulani president of Nigeria. Obasanjo could go to this extreme end to negotiate, to enlist the support of Obama, the support of John McCain, Senator John McCain, the support of Senator Hillary Clinton. Has he ever done that for the Yoruba nation? He did that just for a Fulani to be president of Nigeria. Buhari would do everything and anything for the interest of Hausa Fulani first and foremost. Obasanjo consulted and enlisted the support of President Obama. He enlisted the support of Senator John McCain, as well as Senator Hillary Clinton, so that a Fulani can be president of Nigeria. Has he ever done that for a Yoruba man to be president of Nigeria? He's a horrible man, horrible soul, a bad man. He looks like an animal. An evil man, for that matter. Has he ever done that for the interest of the Yoruba nation? Has he ever done that? He has never supported one Yoruba man to lead Nigeria. Never, not once. He has supported several Fulani, starting from Shagari. When he was the head of state, Shehu Yaradua, a Fulani, was actually in power. Then he supported Shehu Shagari, another Fulani. He supported Yaradua, Musa Yaradua, another Fulani. He supported Buhari, another Fulani. He's working for Sule Lamido. He has been working for Sule Lamido since 2015. Sule Lamido is Fulani man. He brought in Foreign Secretary, UK Foreign Lori Burugueyan, Lushi Agbalagba. Kò ṣàǹfààní fún ọ̀ràn Yorùbá rí. Kò ṣàǹfààní fún ọ̀ràn Yorùbá rí. It's always working for the interest of the Fulani. Obasanjo worked with the United States, the United Kingdom, and France to make sure Buhari, a Fulani, was rigged as president of Nigeria in 2015. He was rigged as president of Nigeria in 2015. He was willing to work with every superpower, every nation that is militarily powerful, just to have a Fulani as president. When is he going to do that for a Yoruba citizen? He has never done that, and he will never do that. He's working in 2015 for Sule Lamido. He will never support the interests of the Yoruba nation. Imagine you have a Yoruba president of Nigeria who controls the presidency, the National Assembly, the judiciary, the Nigerian military, the intelligence, the federal civil service. Fulani are nothing. We will finish them. But this horrible soul called Obasanjo, he will never support the interests of the Yoruba nation. He has never, till he will die, he will never. Obasanjo is half Yoruba and half Igbo, and is working hard, like I said, to make Sule Lamido yet another Fulani, the president of Nigeria. Obasanjo is not a Yoruba person. He was born in Yoruba land and carries Yoruba tribal land. However, his paternity is not Yoruba. He has been proven and confirmed that Obasanjo's father was an Igbo man, a colonial police officer who served in Abeokuta. The origin of his mother, however, is Yoruba. Some are disputing that, but I do believe it's Yoruba man. And by the way, when I was 2 years old, I was told this. Obasanjo once babysitted me when my parents had to go to Havana Club at the University of Ibadan. I know him. When he came out of prison, I was part of those who visited him. He showed us his back, where El Mustafa pressed hot iron on his back. And he told us he's going to restructure Nigeria along regional government. He's going to bring Nigeria back to regional system of government. But he lied. He deceived everybody in Yoruba land. He's an evil man. He's an evil man. Like I said, and I've been saying this, if Obasanjo were to be a white in America, for going against the collective interests of the white Americans, he would have since been decimated. If he were to be an English in Britain and doing everything against the collective interests of the English people in Britain, he will also have been decimated. Simply because the young Yoruba have not fully grasped the concept of self-preservation, they are still treating Obasanjo with unmerited respect. Yoruba land could have been great, but Obasanjo has stunted our growth. For God and country, now is the time for the Yoruba youth to treat Obasanjo appropriately. He has destroyed our nation. Obasanjo has committed so much atrocity against the Yoruba nation. We have so much wealth in Yoruba land, but we are poor. Our children are dying of sanitation-related diseases. Our pregnant women are dying because of lack of qualitative health care. Our education has been destroyed. The Yoruba land is no longer what it used to be. We have always clamored for one thing alone since 1966, a return to the regional system of government, which is now too late. What is good, what will be beneficial for the Yoruba nation and our citizens is nothing other than Oduduwa Republic, which we have declared. All young Yoruba, this is the time for you to key into this priority. As a matter of urgency, we want to take over our ports and waterways from the control of the Hausa Fulani. So I'm pleading on all the young Yorubas to sign it into this cause. We have declared for Oduduwa Republic. And in 2018, we want to take over our ports across all Yoruba land. We want to take them away from the control of the Hausa Fulani. And this is the time for us to do the right thing. Thank you so much for watching me tonight. I'm very grateful. God bless you. Bye.